Hey, welcome, Sabscribers. It's me, Sab. Your girl Sab is here. Welcome to Suffering of Silence, my podcast. I know it's been such a long anticipated wait. I just announced it, but I have been working on this for the last 2 years almost, and it just seems like I can't even count how many times I've literally scrapped the first episode. I have so many versions of the first episode because I've been so nervous about how to even start this off. So I'm just going to do it because I think the way that I wanted to, I don't know, I guess, format this podcast was just essentially, this is just going to be me being real, being honest, and just getting thoughts off of my mind. And so it's not always going to sound organized or fun, but I always got to add my little sauce to it, make it a little funny, little jokey joke here and there. But no, seriously. I really want to thank everyone who has supported me through this process and really shown love to not only the podcast but just me in general. Y'all don't understand how much I appreciate it. So obviously, like the intro had said, I had created this podcast to kind of create a space for people that had been going through similar situations like me, or just in general. I'm trying to hold a space for people who are just ready to kind of share their stories and experiences to kind of make this, to kind of help other people. I mean, that's really all it is yes, it is partially because I want to, it helps me kind of freely express myself and kind of get my thoughts off and really help me process my emotions and whatnot. But it also is a really great outlet to allow other people to open up about the things that they need to talk about, but also help someone else get out of a situation that could be really dangerous for them mentally and physically. So I feel like I should also kind of tell you all about where all of this really started. And I mean, I get it. I say it all the time. Everybody and their mamas want to start a podcast. And that's cool and all. I just think that I have something different that I want to share with the world. And yeah, this is me doing it. So basically, I kind of was inspired to start this podcast when this was maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4, no, it was 4 years ago. Holy. Okay, so yeah, it was about 4 years ago. I was on the tail end of an extremely toxic relationship. One that really destroyed me. And I don't even want to get too into it right now, but just to kind of continue on why I wanted to start this podcast. So I was on the tail end of this relationship, and I was also going through therapy consistently for once in years. And I started to the only opportunity and the only time that I really had to myself, literally by myself, was when I was in the car driving. And so I would just take the long way home. I would literally just sit there, prop up my phone, and record myself talking to myself. Or sometimes there would just be moments where I could finally kind of get away, and I after a really bad argument or a really bad fight, I would just get in the car and drive. And it's probably dangerous to be crying and driving, but it was the only relief I had. So I'd be recording myself literally ugly crying, just having an entire manic episode, because during this time I was kind of waking up to a lot of it's not that while I was in the situation all 5 years, it's not that I didn't recognize the toxicity that was going on or the issues that were going on. It was just that I had finally just gotten to a breaking point where I was just over it. And I'm waking up from this whole thing, and I'm that's the only way I can describe it, is I'm finally starting to question myself whether it is what I'm what I'm perceiving the situation as. Is this just all in my head? Am I crazy? Am I nuts? Can I even trust my own judgment right now? I didn't know. I couldn't tell my reality whatsoever. Like, oh my God, just thinking about that state of mind again is insane to me. Like, it's really, I can't even explain how that state of mind felt, right? And the only way I could help myself was by recording the moments where shit was just really bad. Like, it sounds crazy because no one wants to see, like, no one thinks to record the moments, the worst moments of your life, right? But it's like, I kind of had to do that in order for me to recognize when things are feeling good that it's not good. It's not actually good. It's almost like a blanket that's just clouding your judgment, right? So by me recording these moments where shit was really, really bad, and like I was just going insane and having these manic episodes, and I was truly feeling so hurt. By me recording those moments and rewatching them, that was the only way I could wake up to the bullshit and really get myself out of the situation. And I also, even now that I'm thinking about it, I even remember the day that he actually found the videos in my phone and how angry he was about it. And ooh, damn, was I scared. Was I scared? Scared is like an understatement. I was terrified for my life because I really thought that, I don't know, I really thought that, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting maybe to get my ass beat in that moment. I laugh about this now, but it's not funny at all. But no, seriously, like, it's kind of all like coming back to me, because sometimes you just kind of, with complex PTSD, you kind of like block out certain things that have happened to you. And then the more, see, this is why I'm doing this, is because the more I talk about it and the more I process these things, the more I remember and it helps me go back to those moments and like heal that version of me so I can continue to move on, you know? So that's kind of the purpose of this podcast, and that's like where things started. But yeah, I was in a really dark place for years. Not only was I going through this like toxic ass relationship, but I was also grieving the loss of my dad, and I still am to this day, and it's been about 7 years. And just a lot of me still has not healed from all of it. So this is just me working through this whole thing, just everything. And yeah, these are the most impactful times of my life. But then I should say in my adult life, but as I continue to unpack all of these situations that have happened to me, it obviously starts to go deeper and way beneath the surface, and like starts to bring up stuff from like my childhood and like the things that I really do need to actually go and start with and really work through. So it's been 4 years, 4 years since I've been in that situation, but I'm still in a really, I feel like I'm constantly feeling like I'm just in the beginning stages of my healing journey, and I feel like I have so much more that I need to do. And so I figured like making this podcast would really help remind me of certain things when I'm feeling my worst, or just when you need that, that little pick me up. What better way to do that than to like, make this, I guess, audio diary of my thoughts and my emotions and just the way I'm processing it and how I'm working through it and how I'm healing from it. So that's kind of like, that's it. Like that's really what I wanted to do. And like, it's not that I want to just bare my soul and like my business out there in the world, but I really want it to help other people. And I really hope that these are also reminders to other people of like how you can still persevere through things and how you can overcome things. 'Cause, man, like there were a lot of days that I felt like everything was so hopeless and that I didn't know how I was going to ever get out of the situation. And not only that, but I just never knew if I would get out of the situation alive. And not only by someone else's hands, but maybe even my own. And I know this just took a really dark turn, but I just want to be honest about it, you know what I mean? And I mean, the great thing is that I'm in a better place now mentally. Like, I don't have those reoccurring thoughts. I don't get, maybe I'll say that now. The version of me now in this moment, right? I've been far removed from it for the last 3-4 years. But over the last 3-4 years, it's not that I've just been consistently working on myself and like healing myself. The real progress has just started to begin. Like, I have just in the more recent year started to really take my mental health more seriously and like taking that inner work more seriously and like actually applying it to my life. So, you know, there's obviously still a cloudy period in time in which you don't actually just feel the relief, you know what I mean? Like, I just knew that as soon as I left that situation, it was only the beginning of the journey of me trying to recuperate my life. And first and foremost, I needed to make sure that I was in a physically safe place and that my family was in a physically safe place. Like, that's how dangerous my situation felt. And this is not, God, I should have said this sooner, but this is not to bash anyone or not to perceive the other person as an awful person, because that person is probably fighting some demons and some battles that like none of us will ever know about. And you know, my heart goes out to that person for sure. Like, even after everything, I really hope that there's someone in their life that really cares enough to like help them get the help that they need. But in all reality though, like, yeah, I always constantly battle with myself on whether it's possible to feel empathy for other people who have hurt me, but also feel empathy for myself and not allow me to lose me. And let me even expand on that a little bit more. Like, when I say lose me, like, I'm saying like I can't lose me trying to save other people, or I can't lose me trying to get other people to recognize and realize the value that I carry or the value that I have, you know? So it's been a constant battle for me. And I think it's always going to be that way. But I feel like that was one of the first steps for me, was like, you know, I felt like every time that I was leaving that situation or I was trying to get out of the situation, I was constantly feeling guilty. I was constantly feeling like, you know, this person needs me. This person needs me to help them. This person needs me to save them, or this person needs me to be there because there's no one else who understands. And throughout these episodes, I'm definitely going to go more in depth about all of this and whatnot. And like I said, it was a major part of my adulthood, and like it obviously shaped me into being the person that I am, unfortunately. You know, I think for a really long time, like, I would forget that I needed to feel sorry for myself for having gone through that, because I would be so hard on myself for making those decisions to continue to stay with this person or to continue to stay in this situation. And you know, as much as I completely understand that we all need to take responsibility for the choices that we make and how we continue to make the same decisions, I feel like I always carry such a heavy weight and a heavy amount of guilt in a lot of situations, I always put all the weight on me, and I always blame myself for things not going the way it's supposed to. And then that starts to like build a level of like it just starts to destroy your self-trust and your self-confidence, because you don't trust your own judgment, you don't trust yourself, and you obviously don't see yourself for the value that you are, like the value that you have. So dang, this just all like see what I mean? Like, see what I mean? The more I talk about things, the more it just starts to unravel and unpack for me. But yeah. So in the last few months especially, I have been really working on myself, and really jumping more into how I can recognize the patterns that I've made, and the decisions, obviously within the decisions that I continue to make, not only with partners in my life, but even the friends that I keep, and like just choices in general, like how I interact with the world, and who I am as an individual in this world. So that kind of helped me open the door for like really understanding myself more, and actually taking certain steps to building my trust within myself and the confidence within myself. And I feel like I've been doing really, really well. Really, really well. And the days that I feel like the least amount of love within myself is when I feel like I need to love myself the most, right? So it's been challenging. It hasn't been all sunshine and daisies throughout this adventure. But I'm working through it, and I trust myself enough to know that I can get through it, because I didn't live through all of that shit, and I didn't survive all of that shit just to be nothing, and just to throw my life away. So I know that there's a reason that I'm still here, and I'm kind of just ready to create that reason for myself, because I feel so much more inspired lately to actually share my story. And being isolated from the world for so long, and especially from my friends and my family, that was the biggest motivator for me to start this podcast, because I want to be able to create that space for people who are going through the same thing. Sometimes you just need someone to listen to you and not judge you. And I also think about all the women that didn't make it out of like a situation similar or even worse than mine, and like it really breaks my heart. And that's why again, that's also why I want to make this podcast, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to be able to advocate for women who have been through situations like this. And I don't even like to call myself a victim or a survivor. I was just someone who lived through a situation, and I'm here. And but whatever empowers someone to feel more confident in leaving a toxic situation like that, I'm all for it. I am all for it. But yeah, this kind of took a really dark turn. And it's a really good conversation. It's a really good topic to discuss. But like I said, more things will obviously kind of resurface, and I'll continue to talk about it. And yeah, I just want to make sure that everyone does understand that I don't make these, I'm not sharing these situations to perceive the other person as an awful person. I honestly am doing this because I feel like it's what's right for me. It's my way of expressing myself, and it's my way of processing and getting through and healing from everything that I've gone through. And I really do hope and wish the best for this person. And I really hope that someone helps this person get the help that they need. 'Cause there's a lot of people that walk around in this world that will never spend a single moment or a single day in, whether it's therapy or any sort of healing. And I feel really awful for those people, because I think we all could use a little bit of it. Even if it's not to an extreme capacity. But, you know, someone like me, I got complex PTSD, so I kind of got to go through it. It's a lifelong journey from here on out. So, yeah. So, yeah, sit back, buckle up, put your seatbelts on, because it's going to be a long trip. But yeah, you know me, I can't take a serious moment without trying to make it a little goofy. I look forward to putting out more episodes for you guys on a bi-weekly basis. I've got a lot of stuff that I've had recorded for a while. I just have not actually gone through and edited it. So y'all gonna get some content. It's just gonna take me a little bit of time. Please be patient with me as well, because like I work 2 jobs every single day of the week. And yeah, please be very patient with me, because I'll just be tired sometimes, but I'll do my best to be as consistent as possible. But I really do appreciate all the love and support that you guys are showing, and it's amazing. I'm really focused on giving you all the content that I've been dying to share. So yeah, so much more coming. And can't wait to share all the guest speakers that I have lined up so far. But thank you everyone for listening. You know, y'all are my subscribers. It's nothing but love from me to you, and I feel the love from y'all too. It's me, Sab, and this was Suffering of Silence, episode 1. Talk to y'all later.